All right, Coolios. Now, welcome everybody to Stringtastic Facebook Live page for this month. I have here this beautiful, wonderful lady from Canada, Rebecca Featherstone, and she's here to show us on her platform in terms of studio teaching. Now, most of you understand that I'm the kind of person that likes to find new resources and new things in order to make a lesson more smooth sailing and see if we can kind of change things to make our lesson much more interesting for our kids. And I came across this product, musicology.ca, where it's quite an interactive platform compared to what we're used to with the other platforms that we have. So, Rebecca, tell us about your musicology.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. This is super fun. I love your setup in the background.
Yes, my books.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Yeah, so I developed musicology. We started working on it back in March 2020. We started putting everything together at the height of the pandemic. And I'm a piano teacher myself. I own a music school in Toronto, and I did not like the platforms that were available. They weren't built for music. They were built for business meetings. And, I still use Zoom and Skype for those sorts of things. But for music, it wasn't so great. And so I had the opportunity to develop this app. And it's been quite the adventure, I have to tell you, going from piano teacher to
It would be like last year, I remember all of us were like we were not trained to teach online. We were all trained to teach physically. And this was like a new thing for all of us worldwide in terms of trying to understand different platforms, Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, as many resources and platforms that we possibly can to make the learning journey for our kids as easy as possible and as smooth sailing as possible. So it's great that you came out with this platform that is designed mainly for studio teachers itself.
Yeah, it's designed for studio teachers, but it really has children in mind. So I know there's other music platforms out there, but the thing that's missing from a lot of these platforms is the kids' interaction. So
That's right.
I have kids myself, and my 6-year-old son was in online learning, and he does his piano lessons online and his French tutoring, and basically anything that he was doing in person went online. And he was just sitting there staring at the screen and not interacting at all. And the teachers are like flailing around trying to get their kids engaged. It's exhausting for the teachers. So
It
I
is.
asked our developers, can we make something that's interactive on both sides of the screen? So something that the kids can play with that's user friendly, that they don't have to dive deep into the settings or grab links from something else. And they said, yeah, we can do that. They're game designers as well. And so we've gamified the platform. So all of our features they're enabled by the teacher, but the students are able to access the features like our movable grant staff. So we have musical notation on the grand staff. You can drag notes around and build melodies. We have a virtual piano keyboard where the keys highlight on both sides. So you don't have to struggle to show your student where middle C is again. You don't need to have multiple cameras set up. And
That's
I mean, you
right.
can if you want. The web app allows for that, but it's not necessary because the students don't have that on their end anyways. So they can play the keys on the screen and they can show you where the notes are. So it's really ideal for really young students. We have emojis, animated ones, big ones. Rainbow poo
Yeah,
is popular.
yeah, I know. My kids love them. So I've been using it for a week and a bit with my students and experimenting with it. And I find that my kids really love it. Like you said, interaction is much better than trying to explain something on the screen and that's it. And it's also making life easy for the teachers, like your staff, instead of trying to draw lines on a whiteboard, which doesn't look really grand. So,
Yeah.
could you show us in terms of what they may look like for a teacher that wants to try it or wants to get into this platform?
Yeah, so I can walk you through our webinar here. Let me just pull that up. Here you are. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Oh, I started at the end. Let me try that again. I was playing around with it before. There we go. Okay, so here's our welcome page. I don't know if I should say good morning to you or good afternoon.
Well, we have viewers from all over the world. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
So Musicology is a revolutionary product and the very first video conferencing app with completely collaborative and interactive tools for music teachers. So that's the difference from us. A lot of people say, how are you different than other platforms? Are you just another basic video conferencing platform that's trying to be like Zoom with better audio? And no, we're not. We're trying to really engage the students. And so every single feature is collaborative. So currently we're available on iOS as well as browser. So we just launched our web app. It's early access, which means that not all the features are built, but you get to see them being built before your eyes. So every time you log on, there's something new there. So we're bringing my aim, because I'm not a techie person. I did not use technology in my lessons beforehand. And so I wanted to bring simplicity back, because I was following Facebook groups and seeing the struggle the teachers were having, trying to get Zoom to work. You know, there's courses on trying to get Zoom to work, and it's all about buying hundreds of dollars of worth of equipment. And your student's not going to do that on their side. So why are we doing this? Let's just have something that has the best audio there. So we're bringing back simplicity and engagement to lessons.
I mean, fair enough. If we already have microphones and stuff, we can still use them, but it's not a necessity, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can use your microphone still. You can use your multiple cameras, and that's fine, but you don't have to use them. So you don't have to worry about arguing with your parents about, you know, getting the microphones and getting the headsets and everything.
And it's the frustration of getting them to sort out the audio settings
Yeah,
with
we
the
don't
parents and stuff.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, we don't have any audio settings. All you do is just sign in and it's already
Show
done.
up for your lesson, right?
Yeah, and the audio is fantastic. Like the feedback that we've gotten from people is just like they had no idea.
Oh my
that this
goodness,
would-
yes, trust me, it's really good audio and the visual is really great too. It's very different, like comparing, like I've used Skype, I've used Zoom, I've used so many different platforms, and I've switched between platforms as well, depending. And like musicology in that sense, like the parents and the students are quite you know, quite happy with the quality of it. Sometimes it's even better than WhatsApp call and WhatsApp video itself. So yeah, the quality of the audio is really good, guys.
Yeah, that's because we work on a peer-to-peer line and it's kind of like a phone call. So we have that full duplex audio and your layered sound, so you can sing and clap and play at the same time without having the audio cutouts. And yeah, as you see on the screen here, so this is our iPad screenshot. We developed for the iPad first because it was the most interactive of devices out there, and very simple. So this is geared towards kids really, but it is certainly useful for older students as well. So I have some intermediate RCM students that I work with, and it's great for like the whiteboard. We do theory practice. I actually have my students upload their theory homework to the whiteboard, and it's so simple to do that, you know, even a 10-year-old can do it. And then I can mark their answers that they worked on that week.
Yeah, so what I used to do is I used to get parents to screenshot their homework and send it through me through WhatsApp. But I find with this, you can just use the camera built into the iPad, take a photo of your homework and upload it onto their classroom itself. So that's quite handy as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. We have, if you're a guitar player, we have an advanced chord finder for 2,500 chords for ukulele and guitar. And then on the iPad, because our platform on iPad doesn't allow for screen share, but the web version will, we have built in a browser instead so that you can show your YouTube clips and look up anything you really want on the internet. So our top features are really the whiteboard, the file upload, the grand staff, the virtual piano, and the web browser. And then this will just demonstrate a little bit exactly what that is. So this is our playable keyboard. So this notes highlight on both sides of the screen, and they make sounds too. There's polyphonic up to 10 keys. And on the web browser, it's MIDI compatible as well, which is really cool. So this is our whiteboard on the iPad. And I'll be showing you the web app after too. I just love the iPad version.
Yeah, no, it does look much better.
Yeah, Apple has that aesthetic appeal. So this is a stamp that we have, and we have this on the web app too coming. And then this is our web browser, what it looks like on the iPad. So you can take a screenshot of something if you're in a pinch to find some work to do, and then you can upload it to the whiteboard and you can both work on it together. And then give them a fun emoji after. And here's how we do our file uploads. So you go into your pictures, or on the computer, you'll go into your files. You can also upload things in the teacher portal too in advance. And then you can work on them together in the lesson. And this one is the best. I can't wait for this to be built on the web app. So these are our draggable notes. We have all of our numbers and solfege colors as well. And they're so easy to use. The kids just know what to do.
No, they learn really quick.
Really quick, right? Quicker than us.
That's right, actually. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so I am going to screen share the app now. I always get nervous about screen sharing the iPad on Zoom because it always says, oh yeah, see a plugin. I need a new plugin. Okay, I think it's going to work for us now. Hold on one sec. Screen mirroring. There we are.
So for teachers out there that are thinking about it, don't worry about the emojis and stuff getting out of hand. There is a control on the room itself, on the platform, where you can control the usage of the platform for students, because sometimes students can get a bit out of hand in terms of the emojis and other stuff.
Yes.
So that can be controlled with no problem.
I just paused the share for a second because there we go. Okay, I'll unpause now. Okay, can you see that?
So this is the view from the iPad, yeah?
Yeah, I'll show you the iPad first, and then I will show you the web browser, if that's okay. I can show you the web app first if you like.
No, that's fine. Let's do with the iPad. That's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so from memory, you need to kind of get students in order to get the full function of the whiteboard and all those things, right? Or is it different?
Yeah. So I need to connect to the room. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. So before you get the full function of the whiteboard and stuff, you need to kind of get in touch with your students' room or something. Connect to your students' room.
So I'm going to click on this test room here. And the reason for that is because when you're uploading a file, if you upload it just to your own space, it's going to go in every student's room. So we want to access only the files that are in your student's room. So it's set up a little bit differently than like say Skype or Zoom, where every single student has their own room. They have their own private code. It's only a one-time code. You just send it to them and then they just punch it in. And then that's their private room. And they can also access the app outside of the lesson as well. So yeah, I've gone to my student rooms on the left there. And then up here on the right, we have our lock button. So that will disable your student from getting emoji crazy. Because they do. I think we had a user the other day on the Facebook group saying, I'm getting spammed by poop emojis.
Yep, I've had many of those actually.
Yeah. But yeah, please teachers, use the lock button. It's handy, but I promise you that after about 3 lessons, the novelty wears off. The new platform's really exciting for them. So this little one up here, the television, this will get rid of your camera down on the bottom, but I'm not connected to a room, so it's not really doing anything. And what I mean by not connected is that the student hasn't picked up yet, so it's just calling them, but it's not actually really calling them. So these are our emojis here, and we changed them seasonally. I'm really excited for the Halloween ones to come out. And
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This one here is your camera flip button. Yep. And then the one over here with the 2 squares with the arrows in them, that will enlarge your screen so that if you're holding something up for them and you just want to make sure you can see it better, it'll make your picture bigger on your side. Okay, and then over here on the bottom left-hand corner, we have a plus sign. So this is our collapsible menu. And we put that there because sometimes the icons can get in the way of your student's piano view. So you can close them down there so they're not in the way. So we've really thought of everything for the teachers. I imagine the violin, maybe that wouldn't be a problem, right? Because you're probably standing up for it.
Yes, but like the way that you lay out everything, it's quite neat. So if we need to see all those functions, like you said, that tap button, you can just have it out and then you can always collapse it back. So it is handy no matter what instrument you're actually teaching on, whether or not the same thing with the guitar, isn't it? It's down below. It's the same as the piano. So it's good to have that gone so that it can see a full version from below.
Yeah, have that flexibility, right? So this is our whiteboard here, and you can move the screen around. Same on the web app, you can move it around. You can make it get bigger and smaller. This is our Apple Pencil kit. So what happens when you're communicating on the iPad to the web app? If you are not iPad to iPad, you will not have a pencil kit on both sides. But if you're iPad, if you are iPad to web app, you're going to have the same kit that is built in the web app. But if you're iPad to iPad, you'll both have the pencil kit.
So if I'm teaching on an iPad and my students are on the laptop, will they be able to have access to this as well? Or is it just from my side since I'm using the iPad?
If your student is on did you say
a browser?
Laptop?
Yep, a browser, yep.
Yeah, and you're on the iPad. No, so you won't have a pencil kit then. It'll turn into, and that hasn't been built yet, but it will turn into the same kit that's on the web browser.
All right,
so that they can communicate with each other, because Apple is its own ecosystem. So Apple only talks to Apple, right?
Right.
So yeah, we had to build in something else that would communicate, but our developers are so talented, and they were stressing out before about how were they going to make the whiteboard work between the iPad and the web app. And then they discovered they can do this. So it was really great. So yeah, you can like draw anything you want here. It's very user-friendly. I don't know why I always draw scribbles. I should learn how to draw better. Over here, we have another collapsible menu. So from the bottom, we have our timer here. I'll just get rid of these scribbles. So have you used the timer yet?
No, not yet.
The timer is a lot of fun. So you can be like, okay, I want you to draw a treble clef in 5 seconds. And then they'll do their treble clef. And then you can give them a star for doing a good job. And then we have our trash can button. So the trash can gets rid of all the drawings there. And up here, oh, I don't have anything uploaded to this room. So I'm going to go into my photos and scroll through all of my photos here. Okay, let's go down to here, dynamics. So I've selected my photo. I'm naming it. And then you get this pop up here. So this is for copyright because we don't want to take away the livelihood of anybody that writes music, right? And so this is just saying, are you sure you're allowed to use this? Do you have the rights to use it? Does your student own the book? So for me, I'm like, I make sure my students have the book, I have the book, and then I also purchase the digital files as well. So I'm triple covered.
Covered, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, okay, yes, I am fine. And now it's up here on the screen. And you can do the same on the web app. And then what will happen after is it will be stored. You see it's there now in the student's room, and they can access that outside of the lesson as well. So now you can both draw on them. So I don't know, what kind of dynamic do you think a bee would be?
Some students will say, loud, you're really noisy.
The bees in your ear, it's forte, yeah. I don't know.
Let's go with P, soft.
Yeah, let's go with P. A fire truck. So this is a lot of fun. I mean, there's so many great teachers that I've met throughout this past year that have been making these fun little theory sheets, right? And it's just a really great like filler in your lesson for kids that are maybe not really feeling doing the piano or doing their instrument.
It's giving them the variation rather than it's just view and play. It's also incorporating a little bit of the theory side, is making sure that they understand the concept of what you were explaining previously. So it's kind of like it's a lesson in itself, but it's a different way of doing things, I guess.
Yeah, I start theory like right away with my students. How about you?
From day one.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like you need that reinforcement, right? I mean, it's kind of like learning to read. You learn to speak and then you learn to read, and you're kind of doing both languages.
Yeah, so I do start theory from the very beginning because, you know, that's the only way of them understanding the language of music itself.
Yeah, no, exactly. So
okay, so you were saying that just now you uploaded this onto the students the 3 dots thing, right? That's where you store the file, and that will be only for this student, and then the next student will be different.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just for the student's room. This is just my test room. So all of those files will only be in there. And you can organize everything on the teacher portal too, which I can show you after as well. So I don't know, do you want me to go through like all the icons? Like we have a grant staff stamp here and stuff.
Yeah, let's go through it. So with the timer, that can be taken off by clicking it again. And then, as you said, you can delete that whole scribble. If you want
so if I want to get rid of the scribble now, which like kids love scribbling on their work, right? So now I just press the square button and then I can, well, they're already locked out. So, and then if I want to get rid of this file, so this is just our grant staff stamp here, and you can draw on it. And now if I want to get rid of that completely and go back to my whiteboard, I just press the trash can. So that is the whiteboard. And then this is a super fun. You can see the latency on Zoom whenever I do this one. Can you hear it? It's really quiet.
Yes, it's really quiet. That's right.
Yeah. So this is our grand staff feature. We have a guitar, and some of this is already built on the web app too. So we have our virtual keyboard there, and it's MIDI compatible. We have our staff, but the icons aren't built yet on the web app, but they will be coming soon. So I'll show you these icons. This is our Colourpop Palette. So you can select the notes here and drag them around, and then it all collapses. it takes a little bit to like find where they are. I love using this feature for my students that, you know, they stress out every time they're learning a new song. So I'll take them to this and I'll ask them to write out their song first, and they'll write it. They'll just copy it from their book, right? And they'll write it out, and then I'll ask them to put their, okay, this one's starting on E, I guess. So to put their one on E, and then I'll ask them to play it on the piano here. And then I'll ask them to play it on their acoustic piano after. And it seems to like bridge that learning, like while you're on the online lesson and, you know, you're not in person to like physically touch them and like put their hands places.
That's
like,
right.
Yeah, they're learning it and reinforcing it like on their own through this screen, which is really great. That's a big difference that I found going from in person to this. Is I realized that like I was becoming sort of a crutch for my students a lot of the time, you know, because I was pointing at the notes all the time and physically moving their hands. But this way, like they're really understanding it. And it took a while for them to get better at, you know, the oral skills of learning.
Yeah, so like for young students, I mean, if we're teaching online, some of us are being in lockdown. Woohoo! You can't actually see both the students and watch their posture as well as the keys that they're playing on. So this is good for, let's say you're testing them in terms of their note reading, with the stave and the keys itself. So you can actually see it with them virtually, interacting with you on the iPad itself.
Yeah, so your student would be over here. We don't have a view of the teacher on every single feature because it takes away from the real estate, right? There's so many things on here too. So you can watch your student doing this and see their face there.
Would they be able to see you on the same screen on that same box?
Yeah,
Is that how it goes?
yeah. Yeah, so they see you in a box, but they don't see themselves. Because I don't know about you, but like before I was teaching on this and I was on Zoom, and always seeing the two screens there, my student was always making faces at themselves.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm like, stop staring at yourself.
Yeah. And even right now, like as I'm talking to you, I keep seeing myself up there and I'm like, oh, like, should I fix my hair? You know, like.
Yes.
So with this, I was like, no, like, cut it off. We don't need to see, we don't sit there when we teach in person with a mirror next to us looking at ourselves. So I don't know why we're doing it on video calls. But yeah, so that's the grand staff. You can go up and down an octave. You can put the letters on the keyboard or take them off. And then, yeah, you have all of your emojis there on every single screen. I love the Colourpop palette though. This is my favorite. Have you used that part yet on the iPad?
A little bit. It does need getting used to, like any new function, any new platform, any new function.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just getting used to it and knowing, like you said, knowing where everything is.
Yeah, where all the notes are. Yeah, we tried
Yeah.
to group them, like all the 16th notes are together, all of the triplets are together. These are all of like your basic ones. And then all of our 8th notes are together, all the dynamics. And then this would be your bar line. And then this would be your little line here for middle C. And then now if I want to delete this little line, there we go. If I want to delete this little line, but I want to keep the rest of the music, or maybe I want to delete these 8th notes here, I don't like them, I'm going to press this minus sign over here, and that will get rid of just one of them. And then if I want to clear the screen completely, then I'll press the trash can, and that'll get rid of everything. Yeah, but you get used to it. The Colourpop palette is new for me too, because we only put that in like, I don't know, maybe a month ago. So everything before was like laid out. Like this app is going to keep evolving, you know, like
sure.
Every single month we're going to find out from teachers like what works for them and what doesn't. And we're always listening. And we can we can make it better for everybody. So this isn't a finished product probably for forever.
No, there's always new things, you know, there's always development for anything. It's like my books, it's not just there and that's it. It's
Yeah,
always feedback from teachers. It's making it better, making it different to suit the students in this day and age, to suit with what we have out there.
yeah. Now, are your books digital or are they hard copy?
I'm working on the digital side of it. It's a bit difficult when I don't have a full team with me at the moment. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm working on expanding my team in terms of getting it digital. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like that's like the way of the future. Like a lot of companies need to start going digital with their sheet music.
Yeah, that's right. So like you know, it's finding people to help you. It's not like I can run everything by myself. It's
No. Oh my gosh. I know the feeling.
we think we're like Wonder Woman, but you know, I got to come to a realization that no, you need a team
Yeah,
for
and you
things
need
to
to
happen
sleep.
quickly. Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Yeah. So here's our metronome. So you can't hear it because I don't have the call connected. Actually, I think I
No,
can
I
end it.
love this is because every time I get the student, I'm like, look, let's put your metronome on, and then they put their own metronome on. And it's so difficult to hear sometimes with them playing with their own metronome. So it's good that this metronome is built in where you can actually hear it while they play.
Yeah, and what's amazing too is that the audio of the metronome is pushed from the student's side. So that's why you couldn't hear it before when I placed the call because the student hadn't picked up.
Yeah.
So we are actually hearing what they're hearing and what they're clapping to,
Yep.
if that makes sense. So
No, it
that you're
does
kind of
because
skipping any
yeah,
latency.
because you can't be listening to a metronome and then the way that they're playing, it's not really in time, but for them it's in time. It's very difficult to teach if that's the case. But if you're listening from where they are and how they are listening to it, it's easier to teach.
Yeah,
So
that was our
that's a good
developers
one.
came up with that part. And I was like,
All right.
yes. I like it's
Thank you.
amazing, because you can never make a platform zero latency, like you can make it the lowest latency possible. And that's what we've said all along is that we're the lowest latency possible because it's all dependent on the internet connection of
Oh, yes.
everybody, right? Yeah, but we're not time travelers. So it's
No.
impossible to make it zero latency. So yeah, we have our metronome here. I'm going to show you the, let me pop it up here. Oh, hold on.
Oh, I heard something though. What was that?
Yeah, I was just trying to get the, there we go. If you use that one. And then we have a dog. So we put those in because there is apparently an app called Metronome.
Yes.
Have you
No,
heard of it?
I've seen and I've heard a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had some teachers that were like, can we have some animal sounds, please? And at the time we were working on the metronome. So I was like, okay, we'll throw some sounds in. That cat is actually me meowing.
All right.
Because we couldn't find a sound file that was like an actual, just a meow, meow kind of sound, like
All
a short
right.
one. All we could find was like long crying cats. Like meow.
Oh, really?
And then the dog is actually one of my friend's dogs. She's like knocking on the door and making her dog bark.
Oh, nice. There you go.
But most of the time, yeah, I just use the normal click.
Yes.
We have an interactive guitar tuner. So you tap the peg and then it'll pick up you can see it sliding around. Sometimes my voice is G3 and it turns green. I guess today it's not. I'm pretty tired. Here's our chord chart here. So you can switch that over to ukulele and you just scroll through them. So this part's not built on the web app yet, but it will be coming. This is our web browser. So it's just a basic search engine, really. You can search anything. And then our guitar features here. So the same as the grand staff, you have your notes, but some of them are for guitar. And we would love to put one in for violin as well.
Yes,
eventually.
I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
So that is the iPad, and now I'll do a new share and I will show you. Let me see if I do this right now. There we go. Okay.
So just letting everyone know that it works best on Chrome.
Yeah. So we will be, yeah. Sorry.
No, go on.
ahead. We will be available for different browsers. It does work on the other browsers, but there's just some weird things that happen because we need to configure them. So it'll work best right now on Chrome and Edge because Edge is Chrome based.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people use Edge.
Yeah, like some of my students use Safari, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's the consistency is not there. But I think most programs and most platform works on Chrome anyway. So
yeah, a lot of platforms, they'll tell you like only works on Chrome, right? Because Chrome is like, I think 68% of the population uses Chrome, and I think 18% is Safari, or it could be, yeah, I know 18% is Safari, maybe Chrome's 58%. And then the other ones are like 3% each or something. So Safari is like our next one we're going to be configuring, but yeah, definitely right now, just stick to Chrome. So this is our web app. And early access, I'll just let you know again what that means. So a lot of game designers or game developers, they actually release their games in early access just to like get it out there because of the demand. So people kept, asking us for like, when is this available on other devices? So we could have waited a few months, until it was fully developed. But instead we're in early access. So you're actually watching it being built before your eyes. This last week, they were working on stability before they still start building more features, because you can't build more features on an unstable foundation. So they're all senior level developers, and they're very cautious about like their reputation as well, right?
yeah, but for anything, it goes in terms of stages. Like you can't expect things to just, straight away happen overnight.
Well, yeah, you'd be surprised. A lot of people do expect that.
Yeah.
One of our developers actually made a really good point, because I was like, what if we had like a team of 15 developers working on this? He said that it'll actually slow down the progress because you all have to communicate with each other.
That's
like
right.
at what steps.
Yeah.
So you're never working at a full 100%.
No, I understand where you're coming from. Like about 5 years ago, I was planning of putting my books and turning it into a game before the pandemic. And it's just the process of it. You need to get sponsors, how much are you willing to put into it? And then you need to work in terms of stages. So I've spoken to developers as well. You need to go according to stages. You need to make sure that it's, like you said, a stable platform for it to work properly per se. So I understand how much work you guys are going. And the same thing, like I said, or like I was thinking at that time, it's like, what happens if we have more developers so that things will happen quickly? But no, like you said, there's a lot of communication and everyone has to be on the same page for things to work efficiently. So
what's really great, yeah, you're welcome. But what's really great too about early access is that we're getting a lot of feedback from our teachers. So like everybody feels really comfortable. Like you, for example, you'll be like, oh, this thing, I don't like how this is working. Like, what can we do about it? And then I'll go to the developers and they'll fix it, right? So it's great. Like we're able to work out any like bugs or anything really, really fast because of our teacher feedback right now, which is accelerating things.
Just letting you all know, Rebecca is really great in terms of getting things done as quickly as she can. So every time when I have a problem, I'm like, Rebecca, something's not working, or how do I do this? And she's she gets things done. I mean, fair enough, she's in a different time zone, so you don't expect her to answer like immediately. depending on
I'll
if
wake
he's
up to
sleeping.
usually about 6 messages from Lorraine.
Yes, like, oh no, it's Lorraine again.
Yeah, I just have my morning coffee and answer Lorraine's messages. It's good though.
No, so it's good. Like it's very easy to communicate with Rebecca, and she communicates with the developers, so things get changed and fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
So
show us the browser. The browser looks a bit similar to the iPad version.
yeah, so we're trying to keep it as similar as possible, but yeah, I mean, Apple has its own look, right? So there'll be some things that look more like a PC.
Yep.
So this is our audio and video input. So you can see all you do is just, it'll sense it. You don't have to go in, and all you have to do is plug your stuff in. It'll sense it. It also works with OBS as well for any OBS fans. I'm going to have to learn that eventually, which I'm not excited about.
So I noticed that your FaceTime there, it automatically catches the video for your computer rather than secondary cam.
Yeah.
FaceTime.
So the other secondary cam that's over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that just might be a setting on my computer.
Oh, okay. Because mine
Maybe
automatically goes to the secondary.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah, maybe check your computer settings and see what your default is set as.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a camera person. I don't really use multi-cameras a lot, and so I only recently hooked this up. So
yeah, the problem I have is I got a new laptop and then I have to relearn the whole system because Apple's changed the whole way it's done things. So,
oh my God, Apple's always changing, and Apple's like full of bugs too. I like realized after
yes. Oh my goodness,
this.
yes.
And Facebook too. Facebook's full of bugs.
Yes, yes. So
I thought it was me before.
No, I know how you feel. So I need to look into that. It's just finding the time to see how it works, whether or not it's my computer or the browser itself,
Yeah, maybe settings on the browser. I'll ask anyways and see if I can find any information there. So yeah, this is my secondary camera. So this little switch button over here, like you can have as many cameras as you want and you can just rotate through them. So it'll be like camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, whatever you have, or your OBS. Do you use OBS?
No, I don't even know what it is. What is an OBS?
What is an OBS? I didn't know what it was before either. So it's online open broadcasting system, I think is what it stands for. And like a lot of gamers use it. So they'll set up all their cameras and they'll like show, their hands on their games, and then they'll show their game playing, and they'll show a video of their face, like the sweat coming down.
Okay.
And then so you program it all into scenes as one camera view so that you don't have to switch through the cameras all the time. You
so
can just
it's like an automatic thing. Is that how it works?
You can just have your scene set up and then it'll broadcast that as one camera view.
Okay.
But it's 4 of them. So okay, let me see if I can open the whiteboard and draw a picture, because I can see you're not following what I'm saying.
No, I'm like, this is a new thing for me.
So it's like, this is like your camera.
Yeah.
Right? This is your camera view. And normally it would just be like your face.
Yep.
Yeah. But in OBS, let me just erase your face. But in OBS, you can have, say, 4 cameras, and it'll put them into scenes. So you can have like your face there.
Gotcha.
And then you can have like a view of your keyboard here.
So it's all at once at the same time kind of thing.
Yeah. And then you can have a view of like, I don't know, your foot on the pedal.
So yeah, so rather than logging in different platforms to show the cameras in different angles, it's more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just one whole screen there. Yeah. And that's how you use the whiteboard, folks.
Yeah, so this whiteboard looks very different on the browser compared to the iPad itself.
Yeah, and it like UI hasn't gone through it yet too. So as the developers say, it looks kind of wordy. Is what they're calling it. So but that will look different.
No, it looks very PC old schoolish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So right now, like I actually wasn't expecting the whiteboard to be put in that quickly, but it ended up that they were able to find a collaborative whiteboard code to put in, and then they'll work on, you know, fine tuning it after that. So what you have over here is, you know, your trash can button, and you have your little hovers as well, which will tell you what things are. So your trash can, this confused me at first, but you have to confirm the clear. So you press it and then you confirm it, just in case. But what's really cool too is that you noticed when we opened the whiteboard to begin with, you saw all that mess on there before, right? So that was the last time I was signed in here. I was showing somebody something and I had drawn all over it, and so it saved it. So it'll save whatever was there last time. Your undo button, your duplicate button. This one here is your selector. So you can move something around and then drop it there. Your pencil here, and the pencil and eraser you can make bigger or smaller with this slider. So your eraser, if you put it really big, will erase big things. You can make it small and it'll erase small things. And then you can change the colors as well. Oops, I always forget to press OK. So I'm not used to using.
I have to get used to that too.
Yeah. Oh, because I'm still on the eraser. That's why. There we go. Yeah. I'm an Apple person, you know, like I'm like whatever is like easiest is what I use. But I know there's lots of people that, you know, they like more complicated setups. So this is our straight line. So, I mean, you can use this to draw a staff if you want. That's kind of fun. But we will be putting the stamp here. Like everything will look very, very similar.
No, that's good. Like on Zoom when I'm trying to explain stuff, it's a nightmare. It's like, this is as straight as I can go.
Oh, they don't have do they have this tool on Zoom?
No, unless you download let's say a save and kind of share.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like your student could then, you know, draw a staff, and it's pretty easy to do. Like you can see I'm just doing it with my mouse here. I think the trackpad's a little more wonky to do it. Yeah. And then we have these circles, which you can resize. So you just have to kind of play around with it.
So it's not as easy as iPad, but it's workable, and it seems to.
It's definitely like more easy than Zoom to use.
Yes.
But it's I'd say for me it's not as easy as the iPad. Yeah. Although, you know, I did a demo video the other day, and I learned the whiteboard in like 5 minutes before I did the demo video. So it's not that hard.
No, it's not. But like with an iPad, you can use your finger, and there's a pen that you can use. Like with a mouse track, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.
And then the text that I was talking about.
Yes. I couldn't figure out when I was doing that demo, like what these were for.
I know.
I was like, okay, well, here's some yellow boxes. But yeah, these are your little text boxes here, and you can, I think, it goes smaller. The slider can activate them as well.
So what I found out with this is I was like, I can't move it. I can't do anything with it. There's two axes on the top, and one of it on the left is where you can move it, and the one on the right is where you can delete it off. And that's the only way of deleting text on this one.
Yeah, but they're both X's. So we can change that. We can change that in our UI. So like I said, like this is, apparently this like whiteboard, even before, like they went through with some minor UI changes, but even before this, it was even more ugly.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll go through, like our UI guy, as you can see, who has done the iPad, is like amazing. You know, he's done great things. So we'll
And
get
the
this all
emoji will be
figured
the
out.
same, isn't it?
The emojis are the same. Yeah, it depends what browser you're on. So if you're on Safari, it'll look similar. If you're on Chrome, it'll look like this. If you're on Firefox, I think it looks a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so those are all the emojis are there and they're animated. And then this button here. So normally, like, you know, on the iPad, we have the 3 dots for the files. That is coming. We just haven't linked the whiteboard to the portal just yet. So you will have all of your files there that you can upload to the portal. But for now, what I'm doing is, you will have all of your files there that you can upload to the portal. Oh, we've got an echo. Can you still see my screen here? You can still see, right?
Yes.
Or no? Okay. So can you see these files over here?
Yep.
Okay. So I've got key signatures. Okay, let's do circle of fifths. Maybe I'll go back here and I'll delete this screen here first. So, sorry, I've got a really tried throat today because I've been like yelling at my kids because they're all hyped up on, like,
it's the end of the day for you. So.
Birthday sugar all day. So I'm going to just drag this over here, just like that. And now I'm going to make my screen bigger. So this is just what you can do. I mean, you can do this all the time if you want to, but in the meantime, while we're waiting for the file upload part to be linked to the portal, and then you do upload to whiteboard. And then I'm going to
so you kind of have to double click on that one. It's not like once.
Yeah, so you drag it over and then press upload to whiteboard, and then you press add to background.
Ah, got it.
So we can make it like definitely less clicks later.
Yeah.
I know, like, the less clicks, the better.
Yeah.
So we can do that for sure.
No,
But,
I tried that, and then my students like, I can't see anything. I was like, oh.
Oh, because you didn't put it on the background
Yes.
yet.
Okay, so I need to put it on the background for it to upload their side.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. So then now you can like draw in it and you can write all of your stuff. Oops, I'm still got the text box activated. So yeah, whatever you're going to put there. Yeah, and the student can do the same. So this is not screen share where your students are just watching you do something. And
unless you lock it, isn't it?
Yes, we don't have the lock button built in there yet. But
so what is that lock button on the left side?
Oh, there is a lock button built in. Normally it's over here. So yeah, we're going to have to move that. So it should be over here on the right, because consistently with the rest of the iOS. But yeah, you can lock them out if they're getting whiteboard crazy. Thank you, Lorraine.
That's all right. I'm learning too.
Yeah. No, it's a big in-depth platform. So you can draw on the whiteboard too on the side. And you might notice too that sometimes maybe your student is on a smaller device than what you're on, a smaller screen. So you'll see a black line here like that. Have you noticed that yet?
Yes. Okay.
That's because if you draw over here, your student's not going to see it.
Oh, okay. So at least it tells you, yeah, so it tells you where or what the student sees.
Yeah, you have to stay within the box there because it's so collaborative with everything and the file upload and all that. So you have to stay within the box. I don't know if down the road they can change that. It's possible. But right now, that's how it is. You'll have that little box there. So, and then if you want to save this, you just press the save button and you see my screen kind of flashed and then it came up down here. So there's my beautiful file saved now to my computer. I can do whatever I want with that.
Okay.
So that's the whiteboard. And then we have our piano here. Oh, I didn't turn my MIDI on before. So It's not going to come up. I wonder if I put it on and then refresh it will. But you guys know what MIDI is anyway, so. So you have to connect your stuff beforehand. And then, let me see if it'll come up. There it is. You have to connect before the call. Otherwise, like it's not gonna like plug in. I think that I asked the developers if they can make it so that you can plug in during the lesson too. But I think most people will already be set up anyways before their lesson. So, but yeah, you just have to like press the refresh button and then it'll sense it. So now.
But with the refresh button, you have to get your student back into the room as well, because it refreshes everything. Because right now we're not calling, we're not waiting anyone. Yeah.
So yeah, I think you would have to, I don't know, but I feel like I've refreshed before in a lesson or in a call and that it didn't kick them out. Did it kick them out for you?
Yeah, no, I have to go back into the room. It's like it refreshed and I'm outside. And
okay,
I have to
yeah,
go back
then it
into
ends
the
the call. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so this is our MIDI keyboard. So you can hear an echo on that. What I'm going to do, that's because you're hearing the MIDI and you're hearing the computer sound here. So I'm going to press the mute button. And now you don't hear that anymore, that echo. So that's something to keep in mind when you're using your MIDI, is that when you're with your student, the sound of like this keyboard built in here, because it's collaborative and the student can play it too, you're going to hear like the sound of the piano like coming from you going to your student's speaker and out their microphone and back. So we put in this really neat little mute button so that it can close that sound and then you don't hear it. And then you can unmute it if you're just pressing it. And then we have the different sounds as well.
Nice. Okay.
And this will look different too. Like it'll look more like the iPad later as well. So like I said, our UI guy hasn't gone through a lot of this yet, but it still works. It's still functioning. And then here's our metronome. So that's pretty much the same. And that's what we have so far.
So the whiteboard would not work unless you get a student in.
Yeah, the whiteboard's not working right now because I'm not connected to a call.
Yep. And for now, the last 4 does not work on browser yet. Only on the iPad. The last 4 of that tab. So after the metronome, the tuning and all the guitar stuff and the browser.
Yeah, so those are all grayed out because they're not built yet for the browser yet. So this little world one will be our screen share button. And then the iPad will be able to see the screen share as well. It just won't be able to activate it from their end.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure if anyone has any questions. There was a couple of questions out, which I was trying to get into, but anyway.
Oh, fun.
Now, I think you mentioned something about that you can link this to My Music Stuff for those that use My Music Stuff.
Yeah, so what I do there, wonder if I can show you. So you go into, I wonder if I can show you without showing you all of my information. Okay. So you go into your, let's just click on Sahel. Go into edit. And then you go over here in location, and then you can put it down. See, I have it here. Musicology app. Yeah. So it's not going, I mean, it's not going to send them like a link or anything because that's not what we do. But you can edit those things in your studio settings. I think in there. I'm not going to log in there because I think it's going to show you all my details.
Yeah. I
But
don't
yeah,
use my music stuff, so I can't really play around with it. But it's just for
yeah.
those that use my music stuff itself.
Yeah. So that's going to show you all of the studio setting, the location settings. Everybody knows how to do those anyways. I think they do like in person, like their address or whatever. And yeah. So that's how you do that. That was really fun. Anyways, and then all they need is the code after that. And then they just
Yep.
punch in the code. Yeah.
Yep.
And they can use whatever. Mhm.
Yeah, and then what was it? The creating a room for each student, I think it was.
Oh, they're creating a student room. Yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then
So,
you can kind of drag stuff into it, each room,
yeah, I'm going to show you
documents and
that.
stuff, files.
If I pause my share, then you don't see my screen now, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I don't see.
Okay, perfect. I'm just making sure because I don't use Zoom quite all that much. Portal. Okay, so what you do is you go to portal.musicology.ca. I'll just show you this really quickly here now. So I'm at portal.musicology.ca. This is what it looks like. And you see there's the Launch Musicology app if you forget the address. And then you log in. And oh, I'm going to pause this for a second. Let me go back because I was in my administration side. Hold on. What am I doing? Okay, here we are. Here we are. Okay. So I'm in portal.musicology.ca and I clicked on rooms up here. And then this has all of my student rooms. So now I want to add a student. So I have my student's name, Lorraine, with 2 R's or 2 N's?
2 hours.
Okay. And 1 N. And then your room name is going to be AUS01. And no, wait, sorry, that's going to be your room code. Your room name is going to be just Australia. And your room code is going to be AUS01.
Yeah, so it all can be customized. It's the same with any platform, paid platform. You can customize codes and room names itself. So what, the simplest way I've done is student's name is the room name, and then code name, you do whatever.
Yeah, and you know what a lot of people actually do? Somebody just mentioned this to me, which was really cool. So they do the name of the initials of the teacher and the initials of the student for the code if you're like at a loss for what to put for the code. So then ours would be RF Lorraine Chai. And then if that code is taken, you can add like a 1 or something after
Yeah, no,
that.
what I've done is letters of the name and then whatever instrument they're on. So because I do like one student sometimes learn like 2 instruments or 3 instruments for me. So I put that in separate rooms itself.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So for your room code, then it would be like Sally piano.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I don't like, sometimes I like to keep them a little bit shorter just so then it's less room for error.
That's yes.
Because what happens when you have like a really long code sometimes too is that they'll just make like one mistake and then they're like not connecting with you and then you end up troubleshooting why they're not connecting. So keeping it like super short and super simple is sometimes the easiest too.
But
so,
a feedback I got from the parent is what they did was they copied and pasted rather than typed it out. And when they copied, however, when they copied and pasted, it didn't work. But when they typed it out, it worked.
Oh, so maybe.
So I don't know if when they copied and pasted, it picked up a space or something.
I was just gonna say maybe it picked up a space at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they'll get an error message. Yeah, it has to be exact, otherwise they won't connect. And you can't duplicate a room either. So you might find that you're making a room code and then it's you're getting an error message. That's because that code's already taken. But you don't have to worry about security because all of the codes are linked to the teacher's account. And
So those of
speaking
you that saw my code just now, it was up.
yeah.
You won't be able to get onto it.
No, you won't be able to break into Lorraine's lesson. Yeah, no, we're very secure. So we actually, one of the great things about us too is that we don't take anybody's data. So the students, like I said, all they need is a code and they need to go to the web app or download the iOS app. But they don't have to sign it, anything. They don't have to register, because there are actually platforms out there like music apps that people have told me about that the students have entered in their email address and their information, and then the app had contacted the parents and tried to register them with their school.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't take any information. You know, that's part of the reason why we're not free as well too, because a lot of the free platforms, they're not actually free. They're, yeah, there's a reason why they have that. So they're collecting your data and they sell it to advertisers. And I know this for a fact.
Nope. Got it. I know it too. Okay,
That's
so
why Zoom
wait.
isn't allowed in a lot of like Germany and California as well. For business,
Okay.
which is weird because Zoom is from California, but they can't use it in certain parts.
Oh, they can't use it in California.
Yeah, and for certain businesses, they can't use it. It's banned.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not secure, like it, and it takes your data. It's not GDPR compliant.
Yes,
So
there was a time where they said that you need to put in passwords because it's not secure. I think that happened last year. And then they took that function away. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. You can still log in with or without a password. And then they put it back in again. No, you need to put password because there's people that getting onto meetings and stuff when it's not secured. So I get it.
Yeah, that security part, and then also the data collection too.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. That's why we use third party for everything. So we don't, we're GDPR compliant, we're COPPA compliant. So we're very simple and safe. So as you can see, I've pressed add room and I have Lorraine there. So now if I go back here, you'll probably have to refresh. Lorraine should be there. There she is. So she's right here. Oh, and
however, if you do go onto the room, you can kind of upload files.
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Through. Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Lorraine's room, and then here is where I can upload a file. So I can go into my files here and I can upload whatever I want into there, and then it'll show up. Let me see. I should have more music stuff in here, but I use the iPad for all my stuff. I know I had, what's this? Okay, let's do this MMS activity sheet. There we go. That's fine.
So would that be just a one pager or is that multi-page PDF?
It's just one page at a time right now, but we do plan on putting the multi-page in the future, so you can just like kind of flip through them.
Yes.
So as you can see, it's here now. And then if, oh yeah, no, I can't go back to here, but I can go on the iPad. I'm not going to screen share all that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But it's there anyways on the iPad. Eventually next week sometime, it'll be up on the web app too. And then if I want to delete that file, I just press delete and it's gone. And if I want to remove Lorraine's room, then I just remove her room and now it's gone. So that's how you use the teacher portal. I can show you, do you want me to show you a video of how to register?
Oh yeah, why not?
I can show you that, and then I'll give you guys a promo code too, because I think I've covered everything. Did I cover?
No, you covered everything. I think it's you've covered everything, and I think as it continues to develop, I think teachers just need to experiment on it and kind of get used to where everything is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like anything new. If you buy a new product, you need to understand the product before you use it. But I think the iPad one is quite straightforward if you use the iPad quite often.
Yeah, the iPad's very simple. And the web browser is simple too, I think, to those that use things like there are multiple cameras already and
Yes.
stuff, right?
Yeah. So it's like last year when we all had to be forced to go on an online platform. It's learning how to use Zoom, learning where everything is, how to configure the audio part of it, audio settings. You know,
Yeah.
it's like any product you have to learn. But it's
But we
not
don't
a
have
hard.
all those crazy settings.
I know. So it's not difficult to learn. It like you said just now, students will learn pretty quick and you know sometimes quicker than teachers itself. And it's quite what I love about this is it's very interactive and the layout of it is very student friendly, especially for younger kids.
Mhm.
That's why when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my vision of the way I like to teach. It's very interactive, it's fun, it's not dead boring text, you know. It's very it's suitable for younger kids and it makes them want to continue to learn rather than, oh, this, you know, this is a boring platform that has a lot of problems kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's important too, is like our students are important. And I think a lot of us have forgotten that too over the pandemic. It's like we're just thinking about how we can have the best experience when so the kids are like somehow forgotten with like their experience and how they
Yes.
use that platform.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we have this great YouTube channel with like a ton of videos as well. There's lots of 101 videos. This one here is the intro to the teacher portal. Very dramatic music. So this is step one. You just go to the portal and then you register your name, set up a password, or you can just connect with Apple. And then select teacher from the drop down and support Musicology. That was who we signed up with. Agree to the very long terms of service. And I'll give you guys a promo code too at the end. So it'll be over on the left and you type the promo code in there.
So I think the offer was 30 days free, isn't it, for the first month?
It's 30 days free, yeah. And then you'll
Upon
get this code, and this code is your teacher code for the iPad to get in.
right. Okay. Upon checkout, I noticed it says 31 days free rather than 30 days.
Did it say 30? Oh, well, because some months are 31 days.
Right.
Yeah. So now you're in the portal. So this is just showing the linking to the iPad app. Once you put the code in, and when you're on the web app, you just have to sign in with your information. So this is creating a student room.
So that's just basically what we went
What
through
I just
anyway.
showed you.
Yeah. So if you forget, you know, by all means, you can come and check it out on YouTube as well.
You can just go back. Yeah. And so he's done one that's already there. So it didn't create a second room.
Got
and
it.
it's the same code every time. You don't have to create a new code to send to your students every single lesson or send a link. They just type in the same code that you've set up for them. Yeah.
And the thing about this is if there's any problem, I think you have a Facebook page where teachers can join to put in problems or solutions for anything or any questions that they have. So it's quite a good community in itself. So it's not like here, join this thing and then that's it, you know, you're on your own. So
Yeah.
it's a good community to join as well on top of if you're joining Musicology itself.
Yeah, that's Team Musicology. That's our Facebook page. And yeah, if you're ever having like an issue, can't find a certain button or something is not working for you, you know, we're there to help as well. Always like, I think a good solution too with something is refreshing your or quitting Chrome would be a really great tip. I think you just went through this recently, right? Where you quit Chrome and then and then restarted your computer and then everything worked a lot better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
No, it's
so
good to know. Like I wouldn't have known. It's good to know. It's completely shutting Chrome off and then turning it back on. But I also tried the restarting my computer thing because I tend to not shut down my computer
I
where I
know.
should.
I know, I do that too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do that too. And the developers told me this. They're like, no, you have to shut your computer down like once a week or something. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm
So
pretty sure my computer's been on for like 6 months. But
I
Chrome is
know.
like a CPU hog, I guess. So
Yeah.
it'll just slow your computer down and suck all the energy out of it completely.
Yeah.
So
So
make
what I
sure
tell
like,
students is if you're on an iPad, it's the same thing. You completely turn it off by swiping upwards and shutting the whole program down rather than getting out of it.
yes.
Because I have
Yeah.
noticed that the light still stays on if you don't shut the whole program off.
Yes, so Apple does not allow us to put a sign out button in because Apple has lots of rules and strange rules sometimes. So you do have to swipe off and close the program. Otherwise, the microphone, well, it'll just be activated. Like it's not actually listening to you or anything.
No, yeah, but it
But
drains the iPad battery quicker as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to use those gestures and like grab it and then flick it off of the screen.
Yeah. So what I tell students is it's going to eat up your battery. There's no personal details, so it's not going to catch you on camera. Just swipe it off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I wish we could we have a sign out button on the student side, but
Right.
not on the teacher side.
Yeah, but just be on the safe side, teachers and
Yeah.
students, just turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea with any video conferencing platform, like even on Zoom, like make sure you quit it
Yeah.
after, right? So it's not
Yeah.
running in the background all the time.
That's right. Yeah. I have to remind myself constantly. But yeah, there you go. All
Yeah.
right. So those of you that would like to try it out, you can do it. You can try it out for 30 or 31 days for free. I got the 31 days. I
1
don't
month.
know if it makes yeah, yeah. So I don't know if it makes a difference. And then after that, I think Rebecca has something on top of that for those of you that have viewed this live session through
Yeah, so
Stringstastic.
so you can use the promo code RISEUP, RISEUP, and that will give you 50% off of the second month.
Okay, cool. Great. So it's quite an interesting journey for those of you that want to explore on this platform. I do encourage you to try it. It's really fun and it's really cool.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
No
having me.
problem. No problem. I'm just going to check to see if anyone has posted anything because someone has sent through personal messages. For those of you that have missed it, don't worry about it. You can always view this again. And then we'll let us know how you go with it. And then hopefully we'll see you on Team Musicology Facebook group.
Yeah, come say hi. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and
That's
what your
right.
teaching style is. It's always great to meet new people.
Yes, that's right. Now, just to confirm, because I am from Australia and I do have viewers from different countries, the price that is on your website is USD or
Yeah,
Canadian?
it's in US dollars because we're a global platform. Then we
Right.
have to put it in US dollars. But we are from
Okay.
Canada.
Yeah, that's right. All right, cool. Is there anything else you wanted to add on top of today's session? I think we've covered quite a lot today.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at the time. I was like, wow, like time flies.
I know it does. It does.
Yeah, no, I think we cover mostly everything. I guess just repeating that, we're in early access. So not all the features are built there yet, but they are coming and they will be ready for back to school. So that's what we're aiming for, is to have a complete platform for back to school there.
So
And
your
then,
back to school is in September-ish?
yes, your back to school is different, isn't it?
Yes. So
Yeah.
for us, we've already started our term. Will be week 3 first. So yours is in September. But anyway, like the browser doesn't have all the functions, that's fine. I'm still able to use it efficiently and properly with all my students. If you want to take the opportunity of using as much as possible in regards to musicology, you are more than welcome to use the iPad version. I think the iPad version has more functions that you can use, and the same thing, it's interactive as well. Now, I remember you said I better point this out before we finish. You can't use Bluetooth on the iPad.
Yes, so we have disabled Bluetooth on the iPad because it causes latency, and it was causing some issues with us as well on our platform. And it's not really ideal for teaching when it adds that added latency in. So we decided rather than like spending extra time delaying the web app, that we would just disable the Bluetooth, because most teachers we found don't really use Bluetooth. So, but you should be able to hook your speakers up by Bluetooth. That's fine because that's connecting to your iPad, not to Musicology. But for headphones,
Oh, right.
it's
Okay. Okay. I haven't
yeah.
tried that
So
yet, but I've been teaching through the browser with my Bluetooth, so that seems fine for me. I haven't had
yeah,
problem for that.
yeah, that's fine there. It's just like Apple does strange things. So we would have had to spend more time configuring for Bluetooth for the iOS and then delaying the web app. So we didn't feel that that was a necessary thing to do. So we just shut it off for now. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like for those that want to understand, it's every company or every brand wants to be different. So like an Apple product will be different to a BlueBerry, to a Nokia, and to a Microsoft phone. So they all have their own programs and they all have their own functionality. So Rebecca and her developers are trying their absolute best in terms of trying to make every platform or as much platform as possible, which will be usable for us. So
yeah.
it is a lot of work, I can see, in
Yes, it's very
regards.
exhausting. Yeah, it is a
I
lot of
can
work. Yeah,
imagine.
and I've learned a lot over this last year, really, about like the difference between, a web app and an iPad app. Like I just
That's
thought it
right.
was all one thing before.
I would have thought so too.
No, and then there's Android apps as well, which
Yep.
hopefully we will do later. But like for now, you can use this on any Chrome, anything that has Chrome really. You
Mhm.
can, most things have a browser anyways. So you can use that for all of your Android tablets as well. It'll work fine.
Fantastic. So I think we've covered everything. It's already quite late for you,
Yeah,
from just looking at the time. If
yeah.
anyone has any questions, please shoot me or Rebecca or Musicology any questions. Otherwise, thank you, Rebecca, for coming on with me and sharing your wonderful product with all of us. And I'll see the
Thanks for
rest of
having
you, and I'll see the rest of you on our next video. So see you, Rebecca, and see you,
me.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.